Hello, and thank you for joining me. Today I want to talk about LM Studio. Let's go over to the desktop and see what's going on here. Right. So LM Studio is pretty easy to install, and there are loads of videos that'll tell you how to do that. I want to talk to you a little bit about the different models and how it runs and all this stuff over here on the right. Uh, so of course when you log in here, uh, or when you start it up, this is what it looks like. And you can go and look for something. Like, let's say you want this Dolphin Mistral model. You can just go, and it will show you here. These are all of the Dolphin models, and you choose the one you want from over here. So I've been trying to get memGPT to work. And so one of the models that it recommends is, which one is it? I think it's this one here. Uh, I should have it loaded now, actually. So let's go over to the server and see what's here. This is the one, the 7B Q6 under KGGUF. This is the one that memGPT says works okay. It doesn't work as well as GPT-4, but you're not paying to access this model. It's a free local model. So anyway, that's this interface here, and it'll tell you about new models down here and so on. And here's the URL to this particular one. So you can try all of these different models that are listed here. These are models that play well with LM Studio. And anyway, that's the home screen. And then this is actually the GitHub repository for LM Studio. So you can take a look at all this code. It's open source. And here's their Discord page. If you click on this, you'll get an invite to their Discord server. So if you have questions and problems, you can talk to them about it. All right, so here's their search. This is just a way to look through the various models and find the ones that you like. Now, the one thing I've found with the quantization is that, well, I found two things out. The smaller the quantization, like this Q3, it's going to run faster, but it's not going to be as good of a model. So this one here, this 6 is going to be slower, but you're going to get better results out of it. So I'm running this on a Mac Mini, a 16 gigabyte of memory Mac Mini that's an M1 Mac. So it's a pretty small machine resource-wise. And if we run over here to the chat section, that's what this little guy is, we can give it a message like our M1 Mac Mini is fast enough to run 7 billion models. All right, so you see it started generating already, and this is going to keep generating until it either gets a stop token or fills up the context window, which I have changed on this, and we'll talk about that in a little while. All right, so I'm going to stop generating this. You can see it's not giving me a good answer, and that's because this is not a new conversation. I had asked it to generate a snake game, and it gave me this code here. And then it started to say things like, this is just the start of the code, not sure how to continue. And then it starts making comments. You should check also for key presses. You should handle the case where the snake tries to move off screen. You should check. And the reason I'm going through all these different comments that it made here about it is because if you're running AutoGen, these kinds of comments are really good for creating a plan that the other agents can then go through and pick apart and go through here one by one. All right, well, anyway, this is the chat screen, and you can see down here the time of the first token was 3.54 seconds. Let's ask another question. Let me see if I can figure out how to reset this. What is this? How do I get rid of all of this? How do I get a... Do I have to delete all these? There should be a way to clear this and start a new chat. I don't see a button for that. So I'm just going to delete all this stuff from here because I don't want this fed in as context to my next question. This is silly. There really should be a button here for new chat. Oh, let's see, are we getting close? There must be a way to do this, and I just don't see it here. Ah, here we go. Here's new chat. So this little guy here lets you start a new chat here. I'm just going to delete this one here. All right, so enter a user message. Can I make eggplant par without frying? All right, so we see here, this started responding very quickly. And I think that's because I emptied out the context. So there wasn't very much to send in here. All right, I'm going to stop generating this because this may go on for a long time. But you'll see here, this was under a minute, under a second, 0.59 seconds before it generated the first token. So that's pretty fast. And I do want to show you over here in the settings some things. So first of all, there's this preset here, which I've set to Mistral Instruct. If you click on this, you can see all the different ones. There's ChatML, there's Code Llama, Completion, etc., etc., etc. And when you choose one of these, what it will do is it will put some information into the prompt that helps the model do better. So just some codes that go in at the beginning. I think if I change it to alpaca, yeah, so there's some system messages that get put in there. There's a user message suffix, and so on. And these are specific to the model So since I'm using Mistral, I'm going to go back to this, and we can see the output randomness is set, the words to generate. So you can set here if you want it to stop at 500 tokens or something, you can put it here. I leave it on -1 because I want it to generate it as much as it wants. Here's the repeat penalty. And you can see if you hover over this, you can find out more about what it does. So if we set this a little bit higher, I was seeing some repetitions earlier. So I can change this to, let's say 1.2, make it just a little bit higher. Then here's top P and top K. You can read these on your own. Then the prompt format, you'll see that it has this inst and then the user message and then /inst. And this is something that Mistral wants. It works without it, or if you have the wrong one set in here, it will still work, but it won't work as well. So stop strings, you can set that yourself here. Let's see, hardware settings. Now I've set this to Apple Metal because this is an M1 Mac, and therefore I want to use this. I don't want to run this on the CPU. Although I have upped the number of CPU threads, and that does give a faster time over here. Here's the context overflow policy, and I have this set here to keep the initial prompt and the current prompt and get rid of the stuff in the middle. So right now my context window was 4096 and I doubled it. I set it to 8196 or 8192? I think it's 8192. And when you do that, when you set the context window to be larger, it does slow it down. But I find that if you double the number of threads, if you double the context size and double the number of threads, it seems to go at about the same speed as it did with the lower settings. So where is that? I find this this guy here to be a little bit of a pain to navigate. I'm trying to scroll up and just doesn't want to scroll up. Now it finally did. I'm not sure why I would want to get confirmation here. I don't really understand that. We can export this all to JSON and have a JSON file for this. So that is, if you change models, I think if you have the JSON file for the model, it will automatically load the settings for that. I'm not sure what this danger zone thing down here is, and it doesn't seem to be clickable, so I'm not really sure what to do with that. But here you can set the temperature so you can get some more randomness. The smaller it is, the less randomness there is. Keep scrolling down here. Maybe I can find. All right, here's model initialization. Now, if you keep the entire model in RAM, that will speed it up. However, if you use metal, if you use the GPU, you shouldn't keep the entire model in RAM then. So this is checked off because I'm using metal. And then here we have the evaluation batch size and we have the context length, and this can be these can be changed, and you should check the model card over at Hugging Face to find out what values you can put in here. And this is for rope, but I'm not really sure what this is. It's just under research, and I don't know what it does. So I'm not going to change those. Here's that Apple Metal here, and I think it says here, I think when I turned this on, it told me to turn the other one off. And there's the CPU threads, and then tools down here. We have an overflow policy, which I already talked about. Now, if you don't put it on this, you can get some errors when running AutoGen and memGPT. So this is what I suggest for that. And then I like Markdown. I think it looks a little better. And there's nothing in conversational notes. I'm not really sure what this is for or what it does. I suppose it gets stored with the particular chat. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, you can export this as a screenshot if you want to put it in a report, or you can regenerate it, or you can just ask it to continue if it's gone through and spit out everything it can, but you want more. So this is important down here because this tells you how well it's doing, and I think it's doing very well. Now over here we have the ability to start up a server. Now chat will not work. This screen here for chat will not work when the server is running. And so here's the port 1234. Now you can change this to any port you want as long as it's not a port that you're currently using for some other service. This, I believe, will open up the server to the world. So I turned it off. I don't want anyone else using this but this particular machine. If you have more than one machine on your local network that you want to access this model, then I think you have to turn this on. Here's request queuing. So that means nothing will get lost. If you ask for 2 prompts, it will hold on to the second one until the first one's done. We're going to do logging and automatic prompt formatting. All right, so different models expect different prompt formats, ChatML, Alpaca, Llama 2, etc. So this will give you the right prefixes and suffixes to your prompts. And to start the server, you just click that and the server goes. Now this model configuration, this is the same screen we already saw. All of these are all the same. We don't get different items because now we're in the server. Over here, here's an example client request in curl. Here's one in Python. So you can copy this and you can paste it into a file and do Python and then that file name .py, and it will run. It'll work for you. Let me show you this. We'll just copy this, and then I'm going to jump over here to my terminal, and I'm in my LM Studio virtual environment. You have to be in the right virtual environment with the correct items installed. If I do a pip list here, you'll see that I have LM Studio installed. Where is it? Do I not? Well, let's see. Let's try something. Test.py. And all right, so it seems I don't have to import LM Studio. I have to import OpenAI and Let me just save this. And you can see here that I have OpenAI installed right up here. So that means I should be good to go. Let me do a Python test.py. And if we come up back here to Ellen Studio, we can see that it's running. And when it's finished running, then it spits out here, hello there, I'm a friendly AI, blah, blah, blah. So we can see that this snippet of code works fine. And you can also set base URL or open.api under base equal to this. So in other words, you can have these as environment variables rather than here, or you can also put them into where is it? This OAI under config under list. So here is here's the API type, here's the model name. This is just standard JSON. Here's the API base URL, and here's the API key equal to none. And then if we want to use this, let's see, where do we use this? Is it main.py here? No, that's not it. Let's see where I use this. No, this is not it. This is using curl. I think maybe I put it in here. No, this is not it. I'm not finding a file where I used OAI. I'll tell you what. Why should I try to remember this when I can actually find it using Unix? All right, so let's see, grep minus R. I think this should work. Well, this should have come back by now. Let's ask our model here. All right, let's run over to Bard and ask Bard. Graph to find files with And one of the nice things about BART is you can make spelling mistakes. It doesn't care. It'll still find it. All right, so here we go. This is what we need. So I must have done it incorrectly. All right, that should do it. All right, so here we go. Now we're finding all kinds of code that has this in here. So we have hello2.py. Is that in this directory? No. Let's see, where is that? All right, so here, let's just copy this. Let's do a more. All right, so you can see here what we did here is this config list equals autogen.config list from JSON env or file equals OAI under config under list.json. So once you have your server set up, then you can create these. You can create this JSON file in which you can list all of your different models, and it will find whatever one is working. And so this is the way I would recommend doing this once you get to understand the code for this a little bit. In any case, that is LM Studio, and I think it works really well. I'm very pleased with it. This down here is a list of all the models that I have downloaded. And you can also see them down here. You can pull this up. And as they're downloading, you'll see a progress bar down here. And let's see, this will also pop it up, this little guy down here. I think that's it. I think that's just about everything that you need to know. There's not much going on in this menu bar up here. There is help, and the help will take you out to what is this? This is their main page. This is lmstudio.ai, and this is where you can download it. Download it for the Mac, or for Windows, or for Linux, and install it. All right, well, that's everything, and I thank you for joining me, and bye-bye.